Blog Talk Radio.
When Ariel Sharon said, "I don't care what the American people think, I own the Congress," it should create significant concern for all Americans, especially because he is probably correct. Can you say bank robbery?
Can they fuck with your pop? No. Can they corrupt you like a cop? Are they dealing with the truth? No. Are you ever gonna stop? Would you ever take a bribe? No. Could you never make it live? I know you seen the news. No. I know you played all of your dues. I know you see the way these parasites they feed. They cold-blooded killers and they thrive on greed. They stole your mother nature and deprived your needs. Demonize your marijuana and prescribe your speed. That's why I chill with Bob Shapiro today. Everybody wanna be Robert De Niro today. They charging you triple while a zero they pay. Nothing can save you. They took all of your heroes away. I spit the thunder very clearly. Still I wonder, can they hear me? I'ma put a dick in them. I'm tripping them like Timmy Leary. You got a wild imagination, magic bullet theory. All respect the caliber, no doubt about it. I'll sincerely give it away like a shotlight song. Wake the fuck up, you living in the twilight zone. It's all just a movie. I defy anybody to prove me wrong. I know you probably think it's groovy, but it's Hitler's dream come to pass. War on the poor and middle class. They don't know how long it's gonna last. The perfect storm, it won't pass. Your worst nightmare came true, and there ain't a thing you can do. If you don't see, you've been blind, man. It's time to respond. There's a war on your mind.
We got the new electronic voting machines in place. What the hell are you gonna do to us, huh? We got cops with machine guns and black ski masks, and you've got your little national ID cards, slaves.
They wanna put a chip in you, imprison you in Xanadu, unleash your epidemic and offer your Tamiflu. I told you they got viruses that target your race, right under your nose and all of your face. They got you worshiping the 17 Jesus while they're praising the devil in the Bohemian breezes. You watch their movie, they control you with the TV. Child Psych 101 is rather easy. Clowns and jokers, they be talking about the same shit. Same exact feeder master and the same script. Alternative lifestyles are funded, they ain't hip. I don't play these silly games cause the game's fixed. Predators now have special rights. Pedophiles are selected to protect your type. Neocons got their new Pearl Harbor. Hell bent on bringing you their new world order with it. Hitler's dream come to pass. War on the poor and middle class. They don't know how long it's gonna last. The perfect storm, it won't pass. Your worst nightmare came true, and there ain't a thing you can do. If you don't see, you've been blind, man. It's time to respond. There's a war on your mind. They got big cluster bombs for your third world slums. Chicken hawk neocons love to beat them drums. They gave you a problem like nothing before, and the solution if they offering is much, much more of that. Orchestrated war, they're never gonna bring an ender. They utilize the poor to further their world agenda. Remember, that jet fuel stuff is pure bullshit. You should've known that when Silverstein said pull it. Liberty dollars to Dunkin' Donuts. Now listen, 9/11 was carried out with military precision. My rogue elements is lurking in our government. You trusting them, they loving it. You gluttons for their punishment. Atrocities they committing are draconian. That shouldn't surprise you, they money systems Babylonian. Illuminati bloodlines are quick to lend you their dough. It seems to follow them wherever they go. All their powers emanating from London and the Vatican. They own all of the banks and they come in for your cash to end. Their scare tactics are sick. They've implanted their fear. Now they plan on implanting their chips, and that's war. Hitler's dream come to pass. War on the poor and middle class. They don't know how long it's gonna last. The perfect storm, it won't pass. Your worst nightmare came true, and there ain't a thing you can do. If you don't see, you've been blind, man. It's time to respond. There's a war on your mind.
Do you know how to keep your children safe? We'll tell you tonight.
In the next year, you'll be able to use your teen's cell phone to locate them 24/7. Younger children will get a small global positioning device hidden in their wristwatch or backpack. And just around the next high-tech corner, an electronic chip like this that can be implanted under your kid's skin.
Can't that only be a good thing for the community if it keeps children safe?
Why, we've been doing it with doggies for years.
Yes, welcome everybody to NWO Truth Radio, and this is a new network We're doing this, me and my friends, we came together and decided we were going to do this because it's important to educate, people on what's going on. Very informative people that are involved in this network. They were actually supposed to join me tonight, and that was Brandon Council and Brian Plain. They both contributed to this network to make it possible. But like I said, they couldn't join me tonight. They had some other things going on. But tomorrow night, we are actually going to be doing full blast, grand opening. This is our first show. Welcome everybody to the network because we have some very important things coming up in the next month here on this network. Along with the .coms that we're setting up, we have a Facebook group already, Facebook page. We have the network going, and we have a bunch of people backing us and supporting us in what we're doing here. So I just want to give people a rundown on what's going on here. The team that we're working with here on this network was working with another network, and I really don't want to get into all the technicalities of what happened there and what went down with that network. But like I said, it came to a head, and we decided to start over, so that's where we're at now on this network. And I actually have I thought I was going to be riding solo tonight, but I actually have a co-host tonight. It's actually going to be a host on this network, and I want to welcome him with open arms to the network, and I hope, I see great things from him in the future. With the things he studies and what he's involved in. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. Anthony, with me, man.
Hello?
How you doing tonight?
Anthony here. I'm doing good.
Yeah, man, thanks for everything you do, man. I was looking at the pictures you made on Facebook for the shows and the promotion that we're doing, and it's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I made myself laugh, too.
Brandon Council, actually, he told me when we were coming up with this the other day, he was like, we got to do that. We got to get with Anthony. And, I told you about it last night. And the pictures were already done. Everything is moving real quick with this network, too, because it's important. We should have done this a month ago. We should have just started over a month ago and said, the hell with everybody else, working under somebody or any of that. So we all came together. We all doing financially or whatever we have to do right now. And in the future, like I said, we'll have things set up. We're actually going to be offering merchandise in the future, music. Our past shows will actually be on an audio, CD format or whatever we can get for purchase. And, people can check us out on our past shows because we have done, we've done 8 months of shows last year. In the beginning of this year right here, we had some issues going on with, like I said, with the network and who was involved in it. So we just started over. We just came together and decided, we got enough talented people to go ahead and do this. And like I said, it's important to educate people. Tonight's show is not really going to be about getting to the down to the facts and everything about, the New World Order or the secret societies or what's really going on in population that people constantly want to ignore and don't want to talk about. People don't even want to talk about what's in their fast food, let alone what's in their government. You know what I'm saying? They don't even want to go there.
Yeah, I can't even get people to question their media and government. Like, back during the elections, like, my first semester at college, this is my first semester, here, I was trying to get the students to, at least question what they hear on TV, and no one wanted to listen. How bad of a state are we in when you can't even question what a stranger is telling you?
Right.
He's a stranger. He's powerless. There's people above him who have the power, but he's a stranger trying to tell you what's best for your life, and you don't even question the guy. I don't get it.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine. He's, we kind of grew up together. I've known him for a while, and he's dependent on the news, and I just don't understand it. He'll tell me things. I'm like, okay, well, CNN said that, right? And he's like, yeah, they're blah blah blah. It gives me the whole crap bullshit about, excuse my French, but they'll give me the whole story about how they're telling the truth, and they're, people really believe that the media is here to. I mean, they do some good, but the majority of it is the propaganda machine that we cover a lot on these shows. The whole Operation Mockingbird and the CIA and everything else is going on with a certain mind state that they want to keep people in. It's not even a sheeple thing anymore. It's just a certain kind of people. People out there, they just have to want this information. They have to want to come to it, and they have to realize something in their life to be like, well, things are messed up. I need to, because that's how I figured it out. Right after 9/11, something clicked in my head, and I was like, I got to figure something out because something's not right. And I always had a gut feeling, I always knew something was deep-rooted wrong in this country and in the world and with the people in control. And, you know, so I started doing my own research, and, you know, that was probably 4 or 5 years ago, you know, way back, 9/11, when I started waking up. And I got real hardcore into it, you know, last, you know, like I said, 4 or 5 years, researching everybody. And we talk about this a lot, too, with your Mark Dice, your Alex Jones, and all these other people. When people come into learning this stuff, these are who they first run into, because this is who I ran into. When I first got into it,
I first ran into Jones.
Yep, Jones was there. Even some of the other people, and people always criticize each other in the truth movement or whatever, you know, like, oh, he's telling disinformation. That's always one of the first things that comes out about somebody. They'll be like, oh, he's disinformation, he's a rat, he's not, you know, he's a troll, he doesn't even, and you have to question where people are going and what their motives are. You know, I never got into this to be rich or famous or to sell books or any of that, but some of these people are. They're in this strictly for that, and they're you know, they're millionaires. They make a lot of money, man.
I think Jones is in it for money. I mean, he has his own stuff to sell, and that's fine, but he sells other people's stuff. And when he sells their stuff, he wants to make more of a profit than the actual owner. See, that's where I see a problem with him.
Well, see, I actually met him at Bilderberg.
That's where
I met him at Bilderberg, and he's one of those people. I don't know if it's just him, but there were people at Bilderberg that are like, egos are off, you know, they're off the charts. These people just crave attention.
Yeah.
Well,
I met people like that. I dealt with people like that at Occupy Buffalo.
Yeah, he was one of them. And it was like camera crews, and somebody was always filming him, and he was doing his show, basically, from Bilderberg. I mean, I understand that, but there was such a crowd around him, and people were like, oh, Charles Jones, oh, man, look. So they were freaking out, but, you know, I'm going around meeting other people, you know, that were there. Some people that people didn't even know who they were. Like, there's people in the crowd, I'm looking around, I'm like, wait a minute, that's, you know, that's such and such. And I go over and talk to them. But if they come back, if Bilderberg meets again in Virginia this year, there's speculation that they might. But if they do, you know, I'll be there again this year filming and trying to get information to people. Last year I could only go one day, and I met, you know, a bunch of people, you know, that were there, and it was good. But, you know, you had the police state, and you had this presence of just like these are the scum of the earth that are like meeting. You know, they're about to meet and talk about our future without us even knowing about it, and then sell to the news media the lies that people believe. You know, oh, everything's fine. You know, blah blah blah, and it happens constantly. You know, it's a revolving door.
Speaking of the disinfo agents, my uncle always tells me to not look at the presenter, but look at the information they're presenting, because if you can validate it as truth for yourself, it doesn't really matter who's telling you.
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
Yeah, my thing is, if Alex Jones, David Icke, Jordan Maxwell, Mark Dice, all these people are agents, they're going to go down with the rest of the evil when the time comes.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true. Also, you know, like I said, with the people calling people that in the movement, you have to, if you're going to research things, like I research everything. I read a lot. You know, I read books. I read everything I can, and I read constantly. I'm on the internet reading, and then if I'm not, I'm reading books. I'm doing other stuff. But I try to research everything involved in this. So when I got into it, I was like, you know, the first time I heard about the Illuminati and stuff was from that Tupac video I sent you, I guess last week, you know, breaking the oath or whatever.
Yeah. About him breaking the oath.
Yeah, that's a good one, because like when I first started getting into everything, like researching it, really getting into it, that was one of the first DVDs that I came across. And also Jay-Z Deception, that's like an 8-part series, but it's good too.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, the Freemason tie-ins, and that's another thing too we'll touch on future shows, because people don't really understand what's going on in the entertainment industry, why these celebrities are doing what they're doing. And it's all part of, like, making money from it and, like, getting attention from it, but it's also a really dark under-meaning to this. Yeah. It's all subliminal. You know, it's all, like, flashy glitz, fame, and fortune. And while you're paying attention to that, they're just throwing things inside your brain, like, just hitting you with all kinds of just negative energy. And people don't even understand, because they don't understand how powerful TV is. It's not just the news media. It's TV in general. You know, TV is one of their biggest tools to how they control the information.
It's an MK Ultra mind control device sitting right in your living room. That's what it is.
You know, or it's not called programming for nothing. You know, that system is set up and paid for by Viacom and the big companies, the people that produce BET and MTV. That's incredible to me that people still finance, MTV, music television, because it's not even what it used to be 5 years ago. Exactly. It's just reality shows, and these people, being 16 and pregnant is one thing, but like getting pregnant and trying to get on a TV show just to like get a little 15 minutes of fame, pity fame, and get a little bit of money, that's pathetic, man. And there's people all over the country that do that, and they look at these shows and they follow these people's lives like this is so important. Yeah. And on other shows,
Yeah. Like if a celebrity on that show is pregnant, everyone's going to be blogging about that. But and
man, we have shows.
Everyone cares about that. But like if like your friend or someone got pregnant, you wouldn't blab it to the world. Like people care more about celebrities than the actual people around them, it seems.
Well, that's another thing too. Celebrities and politicians, the line has been like blurred with that too. So some of our politicians nowadays are like superstars, and that's not even, when is it cool to be like, hey, I'm stealing your money and there's nothing you can do and I'm doing all this bad stuff, but hey, I'm cool, I hang out with Jay-Z, and it's like, when did that even come into it? And then you trace all the lines with, the entertainment industry and what's really going on in the entertainment industry, because there's people I've interviewed and talked to that write books about this stuff, There's some dark stuff going on in the industry that nobody talks about. There's a video, I forgot the actress's name, that she was talking about. She was on a video shoot, and they had her chanting like 666 and, all this weird, like I said, when you watch the videos, you'll see subliminal stuff. A lot of, like, the young pop stars are famous for this, where they just throw it out there. And people are like, yeah, go ahead.
I don't blame the pop stars so much as the ones who actually own the industry, because I understand that they probably don't even know what's going on because of the mind control being used on them.
Well, money is easy to mind control people with. You just give somebody, here, sign your name, and the next day, your bank account is, $20 or $30 million.
But
it's easy it's easy to be like, hey, I'm your friend, I'll help you out. Come with me and I'll show you stuff. And when money's not a problem to people, it's easy to like go down that path. I understand where celebrities could become that. It's all the partying and lifestyle, and it's just like rebelling against society. But they should be on our side. They should be fighting with the people, because the people in society, a lot of people are really tired of like going through the same things over and over again. Like every 4 years, they make you believe, this guy is going to work on stuff, and it seems like the worst presidents keep getting 2 terms. Like, what's up with that? Both of the last 2 presidents, not to bash the last 2 presidents, just as an example, because most presidents throughout history have been kind of sketchy. The last 2 administrations, they both got 2 terms. Not to mention, both people that Bush ran against were both Skull and Bones members from his college years at Yale University. So that was all rigged up, and people believed it the whole time. And then he stole the election in Florida because his brother helped him out, and nobody blinked an eye. Oh, the politics, we'll rally behind. It's like a football team. Everybody has their football team. You're red or you're blue. You're like a blood or a crip, And then you have all these other branches off of it. But politics is a broken system, so until it's addressed and really worked on, because there's too much money and corruption in the government right now, it's obvious, and for saying certain things like that, you become, you get a label put on you, especially on Face CIA book, the database of what Facebook is, and where they can, I think it was Instagram, they own your photos now, so they can just sell your photos and whatever they want to do. And then Facebook,
everyone's on Instagram now.
The same way there's keywords everywhere else on the internet, it works on Facebook the same way. The more you type in certain words, the more they're on. I hate to say like they're on to you, but they're paying attention. Just to
I wonder how many keywords I typed in.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, I never got into this to like scare people. This isn't about like a big boogeyman. We can actually change things. And a lot of what what Rob says is dead on. Like taking responsibility and really doing what you can. And a lot of the Occupy movements, Occupy Portland, they're on the front line. They really go out and talk to people and really get involved in changing things that we can change. I'm not saying, on my Facebook page, I'm always like bashing the rappers and the mainstream rappers and whatnot. And really, my idea is you know, for people, I don't even understand how people like certain hip-hop music nowadays, let alone support it and go out and, like, go to concerts and stuff to go support these people.
I was just on a status a few hours ago. Someone was defending Lil Wayne, and I'm like saying, well, he wasn't really defending Lil Wayne. All he said was that, like, he's boss, and Lil Wayne, I asked if Lil Wayne has coherent, intelligent lyrics, and all he said was, yeah, Lil Wayne's boss. Like, it wasn't an intellectual debate at all.
Well, that's the thing, too, in today's society. You're either, like, a hater, you know, because that's what they was going to call people. It's like, oh, you're either a hater or a troll, or you're trolling somebody's page. And why are you trolling if you don't like them? The reason I do these things and try to educate people about certain people, I use Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj because they're like easy targets. They're simple. You can just look at them and just tell that they're carbon copies of sellout garbage. And then talk about lyrics. The song that I played at the beginning of this show, one line of that song crushes anything that Lil Wayne's ever done in his career. Not to mention, I could go outside right now in my neighborhood and find 4 or 5 people that are more talented than Lil Wayne, even at skateboarding. And not even at just rapping. So he's just like a thing put there to have an allure to draw people in. I always get a lot of trouble because I talk about Eminem and I talk about some of the other people in the rap industry because I know the history of these people. I know where Dr. Dre came from. I know what he's doing in the music industry, and I know why he's so big, and I know why these celebrities, they're like, oh, he's the greatest rapper, nobody's messing with him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, first of all, he's not the greatest rapper, white or black, in my opinion. And the greatest rapper hasn't even been crowned yet. We haven't even seen the lyrical ability of somebody that hasn't been, subjected to the radio and been dumbed down to the point where they have to sell certain lyrics. Most rappers don't even write their own songs, or whatever people call them. There's a lot of ghostwriting going on, and people know about it. It's out in the open. These people make a lot of money for writing songs for other rappers because other rappers can't rap. There's a rapper out now. I don't even know how this dude got a rap career, but 2 Chainz, man, this is the worst rapper I've ever heard in my life. This sounds like I said it on my Facebook a couple days ago, it's like a 5th grader trying to make a rap song. And it's just...
I might have seen that.
I understand, like, club music, partying, that lifestyle, whatever, but it's kind of, like, really overdone, and it's ridiculous at this point. When you hear music like that, because I turned on the radio for, 5 or 10 minutes the other day, and I heard this song, and I was like, I'd rather, like, punch myself in the face than listen to this. That's how horrible that song to me was. Coming from somebody that can appreciate, like, real art and what's real music. So when I heard that, it just threw me for a loop. I was like, man, I can't believe people are supporting this. Because I hadn't listened to the radio in many years, man. I don't even go there anymore. When you start putting, Justin Timberlake and Justin Bieber and all these other people that have nothing to do with hip-hop, I understand the R&B station / hip-hop station, but it's destroying what hip-hop is meant to be, and it's just ridiculous. And that's just one thing. That's just one, that's just hip-hop. And like I said, politics, we're dealing with people that are controlling things and controlling companies that we don't even vote for. And these people have names. It's not some scary secret society. These are real people, and they've said things out of their mouths that if people knew their intentions, they would focus their energy on trying to change what's going on. But you always get the thing, oh, you'll never change the world. What are you going to do? But if enough people, you don't even have to change the world. Just know this information, research it, find out. It's good to know. And once you know it, you're able to, you can tell people in your family, your friends, or whatever, people that you really care about, some of this information, because it's a lot to take in. It's a lot. When you first start getting into politics, governments, like go just research the government's histories, like some of these governments around the world, and you'll find out it's just repeating itself over and over again. And then some of the programs from, Nazi Germany are, they're still alive today in all kinds of countries. Not just this one, with fluorination and everything else that is suppressed as information that they don't want people to know about. And I don't like people that would sell out to keep that information if it was going to help somebody. And that's another thing. Monsanto, these food companies, they are poison. This is like selling death, and they're getting away with it every day.
Yep.
And it's sold when you walk into like a hardware store, it's like the first thing you see is Roundup, weed killer, and it's like, man, and they're giving it away with, like, real cheap, you know.
I saw a documentary, speaking of Roundup, I saw a documentary by someone named Jeffrey Smith. He exposed GMOs. He has a book called Seeds of Deception. I was watching his documentary on YouTube. It's called Genetic Roulette. And they said in the documentary that that plants produce their own chemical that kill bugs. So you don't need Roundup or anything, because plants will get rid of it themselves. So we don't need to be spraying, Monsanto doesn't need to be spraying our crops with a bunch of chemicals that don't belong there.
But they do a lot more than that, too.
Yeah, I know. Experimenting. But I'm just saying.
You know, yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. And when you come up with, like, a certain gene or seed, you know, they own that. So when they create it, they own the copyrights to it, and they own that seed. Like, for instance, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and he was like, yeah, man, you know, I can't wait till, like, watermelon, we can get that again and stuff. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, the seedless ones are genetically modified, right? And he was like, what is that? And then you go on this long discussion of, like, telling somebody what happened with the fruit or what they did, you know, what you in your mind, like you were saying earlier before we got on the show, you were like, just from what I'm seeing, this is what I'm coming up with. And that's exactly what I try to tell people. It's like, this is just what I'm seeing. I don't have any, I can't come out and, like, you know, I'm not a scientist lab and I can pull out the thing and show you and break it down for you and make you believe it. But they're doing things to food. There was a story that came out a while back about GMO salmon. You know, where do you think that's going to end up? That's going to be in your major, your big restaurants where people go and sit down and eat with their family and whatnot. So that's going to be around.
I saw a picture once on Facebook. It was an animal. It was a combination of a fish and a pig. It had a fish face and it had a pig face and a fish body, and I'm thinking to myself, knowing Monsanto, this thing probably exists somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just look at what they're doing.
Yeah, if Monsanto was like a scary character in a movie, like, they would be Darth Vader. They'd be the most evil thing you could think of.
It's worse than Darth Vader. Darth Vader turned good again.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. Think about this. This is the stuff we're talking about. This is the stuff that we know. Imagine what they're still keeping us in the dark about.
Yeah, that's what Brandon, like I said, Brandon Council, he does extensive research. He finds things that surprise me about what's going on. A lot of things, some things that, you know, you wouldn't even discuss on the air and things of that nature. But there's just things, certain things that are going on that are out there that people are aware of. And like I said, some of the music, like if you listen to some truth music, they'll cover a lot of these things in the music. So I always put the music on, like, when I'm researching and stuff. But it's always good to research these things. Like Agenda 21, people don't know what that is. And you go ahead and research that and look that up. You know, the CIA thing with Operation Mockingbird and the media, how they sell propaganda. This even intertwines with schools. This is why, you know, when I was in school and I was learning history, I was always wondering if, like, these were true, stories, or these were, like, fabricated to be, like, you know, these are the heroes of history. And I was going back through history and I was researching, you know, the Native Americans and things and whatnot. And I was like, man, there's a lot of blood and bloodshed, and there's a lot of things that we're not told, especially in schools and public schools. And
definitely.
There's a big movement of people that are moving towards, like, homeschooling and things of this nature, which is always good. Like, even if your kid is in public school, still take the, I don't know, half an hour to just educate them on things. Just talk to them about it, you know?
Take the time to teach them. Like, ask them what they learned in school today, and then just tell them the truth. Be like, yeah, that's bullshit. Here's some real stuff. You know what I don't get? I've talked about homeschooling with my family before, and they're like, if you're going to homeschool your kid, you're still going to have to get, like, tests and a curriculum from the state. I'm like, then what's the point of homeschooling? The point of homeschooling is to get away from a state-funded curriculum.
Right.
Like, they still, I don't know.
See, it's like this. It's like the pictures, too, like the photos and stuff you're making. It's like, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time to homeschool their kids. I got a job, man. I got stuff I got to do.
this is what my uncle says. That he says if both parents didn't have to work to make a living, then one parent would be able to stay home and take care of the kid.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what they've done to the economy. Now both parents have to work to make almost nothing.
Right. I was in a debate group the other day too, and I was talking. There was a post about somebody was talking about Obama and what he was doing, and they were like, "Oh, he helped the economy," and blah blah blah. Like, where the hell have these people been? Like, what TV show are they watching? Because it's not even a financial state of this country. If we stop fighting all these wars, we'll be all right. Just bring that money home. Bring everybody home. Stop trying to get all this oil for other countries, or not even other countries, like these other people I was talking about earlier in the show. These war criminals, these people that hide in the dark shadows and meet at the Bohemian Grove, and they don't, they're just advisors to the president and whatnot. With Henry Kissinger, and some of the things this dude has even said out of his mouth to make me want to puke. So these people are real. Like I said, it's not some secret mafia. Well, I don't know. There could be some mafia type thing, because, like I said, anybody throughout history that's came along and even spoke out the truth and had that, that mainstream voice where they could reach the people on a mass scale, they were removed quickly. And that brings me back to, like, Tupac, man. Like, what was the story surrounding him? He, at the end of his career, he was totally switching. He was doing like a 180. He was going totally against the system, and then, now he's dead.
Yeah, he never wanted to be controlled by the system anyways. From what I've seen, I don't know if he really took much of an oath, because I don't think he really did much. I think he just signed a few contracts, and he was just excited to get his music out there. I don't know if he did anything else.
I know one thing he did do, though, and this, nothing against, like, bisexuals or anybody, any kind of sexual preference or anything that people choose is fine with me. I don't have any kind of preference on it. Yeah. I do when it comes to, like, you get on the record and saying that you're doing all this stuff with girls and then behind closed doors and your rap meetings, your rap parties. Cat Williams talked about this in stand-up. He said he went to a party at a mansion and he walked in the room and two dudes were kissing and he was freaked out about it. So things that are going on when, like I said, when money's not an option, when money's not a problem, like, these things happen in these parties. And like I said, with Tupac, he spoke about this as well. He was dating Quincy Jones' daughter at the time, and he talked about Quincy Jones and what he was doing in the music industry. And he also called out Dr. Dre for the same stuff. And this was way back, before he died. This was, like, right before he died. On a radio station, he called in and said some of this stuff. And this is in Breaking the Oath, that Tupac DVD. And that's just one of them. But if you go back and research, like, things that were happening around him at the time of his death, you'll see, he was just trying to make people aware, don't get in the rap industry and try to do what these people are doing, because these people are really, they're lying to you. And most mainstream rappers they're liars, That's what they get paid to do. But
most of them are stateless, most of them are under mind control or whatever.
But anyways, like I said, with Pac, and it even goes deeper. I mean, Pimp C was talking about the same kind of stuff in the music industry, and he was found dead in a hotel room. And like I said, I've interviewed people in the industry and talked to certain people via phone or whatever, and some of their stories, man, are just like things that they never thought they would ever see, because they thought they were just going to keep going up in the music industry. And a lot of people, not even the music industry, there's a makeup artist that I know, and she was telling me about, like, her story coming up through, doing that. And she was doing real well, and she got to a certain point, and it was just like things were asked of her that she wasn't trying to do. And this is how they get in these secret clubs and niches in the rap game, too. And in music and entertainment industry, period. When you do certain things, you're accepted. And if you don't, you're shunned, you're blackballed. Like, Dave Chappelle, the whole Dave Chappelle story. This dude went to Africa just to escape these people pounding him, trying to tell him this is, what you need to do. Don't you want to be famous? Don't you want to sell out? So he just left, and he got his mind clear and came back, bought a farm. And where's Dave Chappelle been? Nobody's heard from him in a while. And he even talked about this stuff.
He did it inside the actor's studio after he came back from Africa.
That's right.
That. And then now he just does stand-up at local comedy clubs. I know I found a few clips of him on YouTube from the Laugh Factory, but that's all he does now. He doesn't do a show or anything anymore.
A while back, he did a stand-up over, I think it was in Germany or something, and he was talking about the guy that got tased for asking, he was asking about the skull and bones or whatever, and they tased him there was a college student, and he was talking about that in his stand-up, and to even hear him talk about, like, skull and bones and stuff there's a lot of things, like I said, when you're on Comedy Central and they give you a spot and they expect certain things from you, they're only going to tolerate so much of you fighting back. Like, when they're giving you that much money, they expect you to bow and kiss their feet, and that's what a lot of these people do, just from watching TV, modern-day TV, along with the major music networks. Think about it, man, History Channel. What the hell does History Channel have to do with, people buying storage lockers and pawn shops? Like, what the hell does that have to do with history? Like, when I was growing up, history was like documentaries about wildlife and learning about stuff, and now it's just everything's transitioning into like what it's not supposed to. It's not even that it's not supposed to be that. It's just that's not what you expect when you turn on history. And History Channel is another one of these big channels that's I don't know who controls it, but I know Ted Turner has his hands in a lot.
Yeah, even the stuff that is history isn't real history. It's the same shit you learning from your school textbooks.
Yep. And they did a Freemason. I think it was History. It was either History Channel or one of these channels, but they did a Freemason. We're going to break down Freemasonry. We're going to explain it to the T. Well, funny, during that whole show, they left out Albert Pike, Aleister Crowley, some of the other famous Freemasons. Some of the Masons up to this day are famous. Shaquille O'Neal's a Mason. He was flaunting his ring on Sports Center or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
People wonder why he's in every commercial. Gee, I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of Albert Pike, I found a link that said in the 1870s he predicted 3 world wars. So they planned this stuff in advance, at least 100 years or more in advance.
Either way, either way, exactly what you're saying. The teachings that were back then, they're still being carried on to this day. There's a lot of people in the music industry, rock and roll bands that were following Aleister Crowley's teachings. I'm not gonna get into that too much. I'm gonna cover that on another show because that's a very important topic. But a lot of bands from the oldies bands and whatnot, they were fans of Crowley, and even up to this present day, we have mainstream rappers that they know who these people are. They hear these people every day. They know who these people are married to, and these people follow his teachings. Maybe not to the T, but that do what thou wilt and stomp on everybody else. Philosophy is still alive.
Jay-Z follows Crowley.
Yeah, people wonder why is Jay-Z. Jay-Z's nickname is Jehovah. Okay, Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah. So literally in Freemasonry and some of these occult secret societies, they will teach. One of their fundamental teachings is that man will become a god, and they're not necessarily talking about. Well, maybe they are talking about magic powers, because I know Crowley was a sick, twisted individual that believed in magical powers and all these sick, twisted things that he was involved in, and maybe they are becoming some kind of supernatural thought process. I don't know what's going on, but anyways, money can make people god. So having that kind of money and being, going to the presidential inauguration, that's pretty big. That's not something that happens to any rapper in the industry. So somewhere along the line, he's been doing very well. He's been doing exactly what they've been telling him to do. Jay-Z's even been at United Nations meetings. So what rapper does that?
Yeah. He's definitely part of the club now. There's no doubt if you've been at a meeting for the United Nations.
And his hand sign is infamous. That's the all-seeing eye. And then there's all kinds of things that tie him into it perfectly. If you go back and listen to his first album, he did a whole song talking about the Illuminati, the evils. He's talking about the chorus. He's talking about it. He's talking about what's going on, what he's involved in. And that was his first album.
Remember that discussion, Dennis, in the Hip Hop Council group?
Yeah, they're not going to understand that.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
That one?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, he knows. They know exactly. See, that's another thing. Yeah, I had to accept this early on in this. Is like some people don't care, man. That's how they get down, so they like it. They like that brutal, raw. I'll shoot you in the face and I'll kill you and blah blah blah. That's, like I said, it's played out, man. It's over. People in Chicago are killing each other right now over nothing, just because it's part of gang mentality, or a rapper told them it's cool. And people are so influenced by things that they don't even know how to make their own thoughts, let alone live without, somebody famous telling them what to do. See, that's another thing. People know all this stuff about celebrities, and they know everything about football teams, but do they know anything about, real history, who's really in control of companies and finances? That's where Brian Plain comes in. He's an excellent finance person. That's pretty much what he does for a living. And, breaking these things down and finding out who really is the banking elite. What's Ben Bernanke's job? What's he really involved in? What's he doing? What's the Federal Reserve? Maybe look that up. And people don't ever do this stuff. And then when they're going to these groups, they're like, oh, you're preaching to the choir and blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe I wasn't talking directly to that person. There's people out there that don't know anything about any of this because, one, they choose, and some people just don't know. They have no idea, and they're trying to learn. They're trying to get into it, but they run into people like Alex Jones. Like I said, you come in the movement, you listen to that guy every day, you're all over the place. You're like just looking at everything. And all the while you're buying his DVDs and making him rich. So it's crazy.
I used to be into Jones. I bought a few of his DVDs. I bought a few shirts from the site.
They're not all bad.
2011, I dropped them. Oddly
like,
enough, once I dropped Alex Jones, I started learning about MK Ultra, Project Monarch, all that stuff. The Vatican.
Yeah, those are real programs. It really happened.
I never once heard Alex Jones talk about that stuff when I was listening to him.
Yeah, we do have some callers. I was skimming over that. But I might go ahead and take this caller here, see what they're talking about. We do have a lot of listeners, too. And like I said, this is just one of our first shows, broadcasts. But tomorrow night we'll be officially opening up the network with all our hosts and everybody on the air.
This network is going to thrive. It's already thriving right now, and it's the first day.
Yeah, this was like 2 days. We came up with the idea the other night and then today. And, that fast. And like I said, with everybody contributing and supporting, that's good because, like I said, we've been doing shows for a long time on the other network, so people know kind of what they're getting. And now we kind of own it, so we can do whatever we want. Like right now on this show, we have it scheduled for an hour, but, I can go 3, whatever. I can go as long as I want. We have a package thing set up to where we have free access right now. So this month is going to be a lot of shows. Like I said, we have one tomorrow night. You're probably looking at, a good amount of shows every week because we're going to just stay at it. And then, like I said, we have the .com. That's getting set up right now. And Brandon Council, he has a T-shirt business that he's working on. Excellent stuff that they do.
I see some of that. I saw Sue Juris one. I saw some Chemtrail one.
Yeah, they're taking orders now, too. So anybody on, I don't know if I said at the beginning of the show, but, I'm Dennis Ford, and anybody on Facebook that knows me or Brandon or Anthony or Brian or any of these people, just contact us and let us know, and we'll get you, if you're interested in hearing the past shows, we can do that, too. We can link you up with those, too. And that's another thing. We had Payday Monsanto. That was the opening track from Payday Monsanto at the beginning of the show. But we had him on in November 8th, and that was our biggest show to date. That show still gets archived listens every few days. And that was a huge show. That was one of my favorites. But like I said, we're going to take this caller here, if you don't mind.
All right.
Hello, caller. You're live.
Hello?
Yeah, your phone. I can hear you, though.
All right. I was wanting to know if you guys heard about, track devices that they, implanted in canned bread?
Tracking devices?
Yeah, like they track you down. They put it inside of the metal, when you buy some canned bread, it's inside the metal.
I know about I don't know what, I know about, the RFID chip and stuff that they want to implant into us, and, tracking devices they have in our phones and computers and all that.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah. I wrote that down, so now I will know about that. I'll cover that tomorrow.
I couldn't make out what you were saying, what they had the tracking devices in.
Canned bread, bread inside of a can.
Canned bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't say I've heard of that.
Yeah,
but I do know
bread tracking device.
I do know this, though. They were making, I don't know, I know Professor Griff was talking about this. It was P. Diddy. He was making these pants, and inside the tag in the pants had a tracking device in that. And that's how they were tracking certain people.
Yeah.
But I've never even heard of, them putting it in food or anything. Or in a
container. I haven't heard of it. Yeah, I know they want to put the RFID chip in us. I know they want to put it in vaccines, so like you don't even know if you're going to get a vaccine, you don't even know the RFID chip exists. You're going to go get a vaccine, and it's going to be in your skin.
Man,
that's how they're going to do it.
At this point, they could put them in chicken nuggets. People wouldn't care.
Yeah, no one would know. I'm not getting chipped.
I don't know. All I do know is that that's the goal. That's part of their agenda. And people want, it's not even really tied. It's tied into biblical, Bible talks and whatnot. But really, that's their goal, and they're gonna do everything they can to do that with Obamacare and everything else. It's gonna be maybe not it's not mandatory now. People have it all over the country. There's people in, I believe, Florida that got the RFID chip just to have VIP status inside a club. So when they go to the club,
I saw that video.
They don't have to bring their ID. They just, scan their hand, and they get in. Everything is charged to that chip. So when they wake up the next day, they have however they look at that chip, and they have a bill that they paid. Or they pay it at the bar, I don't know. But they can't get in the club without that chip. So there's people that are doing it. But, yeah, thanks for the call, man. I got some other callers I'm going to jump to real quick.
All right. I hate niggers.
I knew it. We had a caller a while back, a long time ago, and it was the same thing. It was like a question, and like right at the end of the call, they said something like that. But that no way affects anybody on this show. That's not a reflection of anybody on this network. All right, so I'm going to jump to the next one here. 613, you're live. How you doing?
What's up? It's Nina Bombina.
Did I say 613? No.
You did, but you always do that every time I call, which is all right, because
yeah, my fault, Nina.
I don't like it given out. How are you guys? I just had a call. I don't want to take up your time. I just want to let you know you have my support always. I just got home a little bit ago and just wanted to show some love.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, but, we did have an issue with the other network, and we decided to go ahead and do our own thing, which we should have done a long time ago.
Good, and you know what? But everything happens when it's supposed to. Sometimes you have to see things and see things unfold, and the way that people act. You need that, and that's going to be a tool that you can use later on. It'll help you. That's how you got to look at it. Lesson learned, and right. People are creepers, and just like that last caller, what the hell? What a moron. Oh, my God.
The more I'm thinking about that.
I love it when people just, get on the phone and say stuff. It's like, you will so get buried if you ever say that in front of me, and I'm not even black,
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's probably the kid probably is like $110 wet,
Well, I know we have unwanted attention from the other network, so I know people are.
I'm sure people are going to do that, but I can attest that I know none of you feel like that and would ever say anything like that and all that. But I know you guys have other callers, so I'm not going to babble like I usually do. Except I just want to say one thing to everybody: make sure that you're eating good food. Make sure that you're taking care of your mind and your body, and don't put poisons. Especially when you know that they're poisons, just try to be mindful of what you eat, because I'm health and wellness, but I got to give my spiel. So anyway, I'll leave you guys, all right?
Yeah,
you have my love and support always, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Yeah, before you jump off the line, though, Nina, I wanted to go ahead and let you know, I mean, with the new network, like I said, you have a spot with us anytime. Anthony tonight is actually doing his first host gig or whatever, but you're more than welcome anytime on this network to host any shows you want.
Oh,
okay.
Much love. Awesome. Hey, I just love to be a part of, this movement, and spread the message of, knowledge, truth, and love, for the greater good. And I always have your guys' back. And Anthony, welcome and congrats on your first show. I remember my first show. I remember how my heart was pounding out of my chest, but now you can't even shut me up. So, anyway, with all that being said,
yep.
You guys, one love.
Yep, thank you, Nina.
All right.
You have a good night.
You too. Peace.
Yeah, so there we go. We made it. We got Nina on the show tonight.
Yep. I think she's on our Facebook. I think we talked to her a few days ago.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I meant to bring that up. Yeah, she was actually talking to you yesterday, and I was telling her,
we were talking about like Star Trek and Star Wars and like
oh yeah, that's right.
And stuff like that. It was talked about.
It was the Star Trek thing because you made that meme or whatever about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done shows with Nina in the past, and like I said, she's always welcome. She's been a host, and she's been with us for a while. She also contributes to Prince Vega and what he does on his radio network as well, and that's another person as well. Prince Vega, he's always welcome on the new network, and I will have to get in touch with him, actually, because I would love to interview him. He's got a lot of things going on right now. He's very busy. But he does his thing as well with the, waking people up thing, and can't thank him enough for what he does. But we do have some more callers, and we have a lot of people tuning in tonight. That's great. So I'm going to move on here. 719, you're on the air. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good, good. You have a question? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm wondering your opinion on Alex Jones.
My opinion?
I mean, from what I heard, he's a Stratford agent.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier in the show, it's like when people come to Alex Jones and they start finding out who he is, you can listen to him. I'm still in tune with what he does, but I know what I'm getting. So when I get the information from him, I kind of break it down and do my own research, and I do that with everybody that I come across in the movement. I have a lot of books, man. I have, Fritz's book. I have a lot of Mark Dice books. I have a lot of books from the movement. So I research people constantly in the movement. But my opinion on them is, I take them with a pound of salt. I don't ever really take anything Alex is saying as like justified truth, and he's the only truth. You talk to him, he's the best one doing it, but couldn't be further from the truth. But I don't discredit him. I mean, there's a lot of good things he possibly does and could do, but I'm not saying he's all negative and nobody should ever listen to him. It's just when I listen to him, or I get information, or I see something that, like when he was on Piers Morgan, that was just outrageous. That was like one of the funniest things.
If you need proof that he's an agent or that something's up with the guy, watch his Piers Morgan interview. All he did was yell the entire time.
But I mean, I heard something about him last month that he doesn't like niggers. What's that look like?
I don't know, man. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't even know where that stuff's coming from, but that's instant cutoff. You shouldn't even say that. But again, we live in a society where people, do such things.
Is the other network sending agents after us?
Probably. I don't know. We must be pretty.
Maybe in the New World Order, Illuminati is sending their agents after us too. Probably. I mean, like when you say something like that, and usually agents are complete idiots. So the agents I've dealt with anyway, they're complete idiots, and they act like that.
Yeah, they're just that's trolling 101 right there. Anyways, moving on to another subject here. Like I said, when people, I don't even know why that would be a question on the show. It's like, what's your opinion on Alex Jones? And you can go back and listen to all our past shows, and we covered him extensively and what he's about. But we'll cover that in the future, like I said.
Well, I think something's up with the guy. I mean, I'm going on intuition here, but he's probably working for, some say he's working for like the Vatican or something. I'm not sure if he's that powerful, but he's definitely working for the CIA, FBI, whatever.
Well, you don't just get on CNN like that. He just walked into CNN. You know?
Yeah, he's like the Fox News for the conspiracy world. That's what Alex Jones is.
Yeah, like I said, just take it with a grain of salt or anything you get from him, along with anybody in the movement. Just take their information and use what you can use and get rid of the rest. Like I said, I have a lot of people's books. Anthony, we were talking about, I know we were talking about David Icke the other day, and people they don't understand what he's all about.
Yeah, I don't mind David Icke. I don't care if he's an agent or whatnot. Yeah, he could be, but he seems fine. Here's the other thing, like, when people say, oh, that guy's disinfo, that guy's an agent, what if the true disinfo is the person calling David Icke an agent and not really listening to his information?
Yeah, I would hate, not to get off subject there, but I was just reading something in the chat room. I would hate for, like, a radio network war to be going on, because anybody that would try to infiltrate or do anything to this network would really, that would be a real big problem, and we would address that. So I hope, if anybody is mad that we're doing what we're doing, just get over it and move on, grow up, stop being a child. So the more we do, the more shows we do, we'll address that more. And like I said, this is just our opening show. Tomorrow night will be our first official show where we'll unleash everything that we have, in plans and what we're going to be doing. But that's just crazy, man. But I knew people were going to be knowing that we were doing this show because we posted it everywhere. It's all over Facebook.
Yeah, I posted it a lot today.
Yep. So I'm kind of apprehensive here. I'm taking callers again because I don't know who these people are. But
it doesn't even affect us. Who cares? They're gonna say something stupid, then you'll kick them out. It's not affecting me. It's not bothering me. It's fucking laughable.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually gonna take a break in a minute.
So thank you, idiots who are calling in, for giving me and Dennis energy and laughter.
Yep, because I will laugh about it later.
Yeah, the system wants us to get angry and vulgar towards them, which I can do very well, but that's what the system wants us to do. They want us to get angry at the agents they sent out, but they know it's not going to happen.
Right. Plus, a lot of people don't think we can do what we're doing, but we've been doing it for a while. It's not our first rodeo here. We've been doing radio shows for a while, whether on Blog Talk or not. We've been on radio for a while. Not to mention some of the other people. We're going to be actively involved with other networks, supporting what they do and not trying to bash anything they do. We're going to be supporting some other radio networks and trying to get some of their hosts maybe to come on some nights, and we're going to be doing that too. But I don't want to let too much out right now. And like I said, I'm going to take a couple-minute break here, play some music,
all right,
and then
we'll
be back.
It's on Blog Talk. I know a perfect, you know the guy too, I know a perfect radio show host.
Oh, yeah.
Get on the show.
Yes, sir. That's in the plans. And like I said, there's people that are doing radio and involved in doing shows on their own, and these people do amazing work, and, we want to support them. Not to mention a lot of Facebook pages that I'm involved in. I didn't really post this show on it, but tomorrow I will. I'll post this show to major avenues. I have one page that I work with that's, reaches 20,000 people. So the show will be out there tomorrow. And then Monday, Tuesday, we don't know yet. We're still up in the air for that. But we will be doing more shows, rapidly doing shows. It might be one or 2 days that we take off. And I don't know if the show is going to cut off, too, because we had it scheduled for an hour. But I know we can carry over. So we're just going to let it ride. But I'm going to play a little bit of music here, and I'll be right back. All right, Anthony?
All right.
All right.
When you hear what I've got to say, I'm sure you might want to turn your head the other way. But if you dare trip with me, I will take you on a ride. You will see just how you can prevent genocide. Everything you think you own has been left to you. ya by a predator with a monopoly on terror. There's no competitor. America's a detonation, getting deader. Supine to its sovereign, you cannot audit your creditor. They ship the drugs and run the prisons, etc. You can't find one mainstream newspaper editor. If you get upset, who you gonna write a letter to? Your congressman has been vetted, and so has your senator. The inventors of this creature are fortuitous. This world order, trust me, there ain't nothing new to this. The truth is just too illustrious and luminous for folks to know who they can trust and who Lucius is, or any other Rockefeller Foundation. 1,000 points of light, non-governmental organization. All that tyranny could be summarily dead in one fell swoop if you end the fad. Think their main goal is not to conquer. Your mindset slave, don't ever forget slave. You have just been turned into a bona fide debt slave. Officially, when you take the real route, there was a banker takeover, fuck a bailout. They got the public clamoring to stick they sail out. This is admiralty law, they rob you then they sail out. Ain't nothing new, eventually you'll see the cinema. They had this movie rolling centuries, if not millennia. No wonder why they wanna censor me, cause I get into ya. Then the treasury, the legacy, it needs an enema. The dollar's dead and now they nickel and they dime you. That was manufactured in a lab like the swine flu. Cast your vote today to kill the plague. These motherfuckers should be sentenced to death at the Hague. Greenspan, what a maestro. Vacationing in Hades, he really has a nice glow. His money created what people call culture, carrying on the same traditions as Paul Volcker. It's so fun, why the hell it got to end? All these monetary funds, we still got a lot to lend. Let me take a little glance at my teleprompter friend. He can tell me what to ask Mr. Helicopter Ben. He's dropping dollar bills from the sky to offshore banks who like to fly. We got a candidate, he's very polished. NAFTA and GATT, all that will be abolished. Please disregard whatever you heard on your corporate television. It's forever absurd. Obama's got a lot of devils to serve, and they're all affiliated with the Federal Reserve. They're the feds. They own your body. This is true indeed. They got you buying worthless things you do not need. Everything we see happening is everything they say. We will not be slavery until we go ahead and the
Yeah, so we're back. Like I said, we're just carrying over a little bit because the show was scheduled for an hour. So, Anthony, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here. Hey, Dennis, and if anyone's still listening, all of you are now criminals according to the federal government. Because if you produce DMT, THC, or anything, you are in possession of drugs. Your brain produces those things, so you are in possession of drugs according to the federal government.
Screw that.
Yeah, so it's now a crime to produce DMT. to produce THC, to produce opiates, and whatever the fuck else our brain produces to help us. Spiritual warfare has officially begun.
It's begun a while back too.
Yeah, me and my uncle were talking about this last week. He said they're gonna ban sleep now, because if you can't produce DMT, it's gonna be a crime to dream, and since you have to sleep to dream and produce DMT, it's gonna be a crime to sleep. So.
I'll be damned. But that's what I'm saying. It's just getting worse, man.
Keep us awake with their drugs.
Now dreams are outlawed. You can't even dream.
Label us as being in possession of drugs, and then keep us in control with their drugs.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that tomorrow, on another show. We'll have to get into that. But like I said, every day when I wake up, there's something else. There's like another story or another something just to make you like. It's like it's rough to learn this stuff sometimes, even if it's not all true. Even some of the stuff that's way far out there that's just crazy. It's like when you hear it, you're like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Because people are so used to just hearing, lollipops and unicorns all day. When they hear the truth, when they hear like the unadulterated truth, it's not good, especially when you do it every day. But I wanted to talk about something, real quick, because during that break, man, I was thinking about, like, I didn't even take into my mind that we were going to have possible spies from past prior networks or whatever. I didn't even take that into my
I thought about that a few hours ago.
I didn't even think about that.
I always expect...
That's really, that's crazy.
Yeah, you have to expect at least one agent or spy.
But it's okay. I mean, like I said, we own the network. We own the keys, so it takes for somebody to call in, they would have to, like I said, ask the question like that first, and then at the end say something like that. But let that be a lesson to anybody in the future. So yeah, I guess, like I said, we carried over. We were only supposed to do an hour show tonight. It was mainly going to be, I was just going to play music for an hour, but we carried over. And like I said, this was your first show, but not really, because tomorrow we'll have you on again, and we'll formally introduce you to everybody.
All right.
And Rob as well.
Yeah, there was something else you said you wanted to cover before we started the show. You said you wanted to talk about Nicki Minaj possibly being in the archive?
Yeah, because I remember...
For those of you listening... Well, I'm looking at her, and I'm like, she looks like an alien. She's got to be an alien. She looks exactly like one. That's all I have. I don't have any documents or anything. Like, I didn't meet a handler or something that said, here's this document. Yeah, she's an alien. No, I'm just going off what I see.
Right.
But I'm convinced she is.
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day, and I remember it was in a thread, and I was like, I get lost, I get lost in the conspiracies. What is she, like, a reptilian? And we were talking about it, and it's just crazy to think about, something like that. But she is definitely involved in some kind of possession or whatever people want to call it. Just based upon her, her actions and what she's portraying to 13-year-old children. Yeah, there's something going on. Yeah. Most of her fans are not adults, and people don't even realize that. Most of these rap stars, their fans are like, your nieces and nephews and your daughters and whatnot. People don't understand, you go out the room, your kid's playing this music. You're not ever going to stop the force of this music coming at them, but it's good to know about these people because what they're selling, they get paid a lot of money, man, just sell filth, just sell garbage, just sell stupidest music possible. That's what I told my friend, if you want to be rich, just sit down when you're in the studio and just write the dumbest shit you can think of, and you'll sell 1 million records. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Just write a song about, like, lollipops or candy or something, and the rap industry will love it. They're doing this whole Harlem Shake thing now. It's like everything is... When did that become hip-hop? You don't want to know what it is. It's just another retarded thing that people latch on to. It's like the flavor of the month club. It's like, oh, now we're going to dance and post YouTube videos because we don't have any lives.
The RA at my dorm said that everyone in my dorms is going to do the Harlem Shake next month. Everyone in my hall.
Yeah, I've seen it on
like, yeah, it's stupid, but, you know, it might be funny to watch.
There's a YouTube video. Yeah, there's a YouTube video that went, it got, you know, I don't know if it went viral, but it got a lot of views. I don't know when they posted it, but it was like people on a plane. It was a lacrosse team, and they were taking a trip, and they did this on the plane, and they filmed it and posted it on YouTube. And I was like, this is what people do for attention nowadays. This is what we've been lowered to. It's like people crave attention so much that, you know, they just come up with these stupid ideas to just promote dumb shit. That's the dumbest fad. That's like all the fads. They're just regurgitations of the same shit that people did, you know, 2 years ago. It's just they just call it something else.
Yeah, it's gonna be out of style like next month. Sooner than that, something new's gonna come along. No one's even gonna remember what the Harlem Shake is.
Yeah, I made some money off of this in the past. I have some friends of mine that are, you know, they claim, like the people in that group, Anthony, you know, the Hip Hop Council or whatever, they claim to be so so into hip hop music and they know so much about it. And then I asked my friend, I'm like, you know, what was the top one single last summer? Do you even know? You know, what was the number one song last year at this time? People don't even know because the music is made to be disposable. Like these albums and artists that are coming out are just made to be replaceable garbage.
I always hated that because
you know what happened to yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I always hated that the rap and pop is made to like last like 2 months and that's it. Because even though the bands that I always listen to are still part of the agenda, their music lives on forever. Like the oldest song I have dates back to 1962.
Right.
Real music can last a long time.
Well, that's why they don't make it. They want to see I think it's in the music industry like the newest fad. They can make money right away, and then when you have music that's timeless, that sells over time. You know, if you go back and look at some of these albums, the biggest selling albums of all time or whatever, some of them are real music, and they've carried over so long because they're iconic, timeless music. And the music that's made nowadays is like all about the feelings and the moment that people live in. So it's all the club music, it's all this treating women like garbage, all this other, you know, tie-ins that people don't understand the influence that music has on society. They don't understand it because they're under it. You know, they don't grasp concept because they never even thought like that.
Yeah,
but it can influence you.
Yeah, I don't mind partying and having fun, drinking, people smoking and all that. Like, I don't mind that because it's a way to have fun and you can be entertained by it and do it responsibly. But it's like what Immortal Technique said in an interview. He said, at least find a balance. Find a balance between, like, real information and then go have fun. Like,
yeah, he's another one, man. He's one that won't sell out, you know. He's an incredible lyricist, an incredible artist. There's a lot of things, it's just like anybody. I don't agree with everybody. I don't even agree with everything, you know, people in my family say. So I don't agree with everything somebody says, but his music and just the fact that he won't sell out. I mean, he's been offered multiple times to go the mainstream route and, hey, we'll take Immortal Technique and make it a brand. But, see, he's not involved in that. He's not even like that. But he did go on Alex Jones, you know, last week. And I didn't really understand what was behind that, but I guess he was just trying to let Alex know that he's his own, you know, he's Immortal Technique and what he does. I don't know. But that was weird.
Yeah, maybe Immortal Technique doesn't know what we know about Jones. Like, I posted it on his page. I'm just telling him, watch out for Jones. He might not be the great man everyone thinks he is. Yeah. But I do understand why he would have gone on just to get his views out to the millions of people that listen to him. Even if Alex Jones isn't a great guy, there's great people who listen to Jones and who will listen to Immortal Technique and be influenced by his words and his music. So it's not a really bad thing if you like go to a guy in the mainstream and talk to him to get your music out there. Just don't have your intention be evil or profit, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm just getting back into, like, reading everything during the show. Yeah. And that's another thing. People don't understand what, you know, I encourage people to do radio. They want to get involved in it, and like I said, I don't agree with everybody. There's certain things that people say that I'll bounce around because I don't even want to get into it, and that's the religion realm too. You know, it's like when you get into certain topics, it's like people are so engraved in like changing somebody. Well, I'm going to change you by telling, you know. So a lot of things I just bounce around. I research everything. I do the best of my ability to understand things, but you know, these radio shows, you know.
Speaking of religion, I'm not religious, but I can handle it a little bit. It just depends on the person I'm talking to. Because so many Christians I dealt with are so ignorant to what they're preaching. They don't even practice what they preach, and they try to, and at the same time, they're trying to convert me to what they believe in when they don't even believe in it themselves.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not just Christianity; it's all religions.
Yeah, and the guy they're preaching about, Jesus Christ, it's been said he never even wanted a religion. He preached peace and love towards everyone, no matter who they were, and these Christians don't even do that.
Yeah.
Like, they're taking the concept of God and they're twisting it to fit their evil agenda. I don't mind the concept of God.
No, it's not even that. It's like, you know, this is a whole other show. We've done shows like this a couple times, but the whole thing is like, you know, I do, you know, I research whatever I can. I even research religions. I research religions. I don't really like doing it, but I do it. I research, you know, what I can about all topics. So there's a little bit of knowledge that I have or whatever, but I don't ever go into it because really in reality nobody really knows what's, you know, there's no definitive truth. So people can say whatever, it doesn't matter. But like I said, this is in all religions. It's not just one set religion. There's corruption in religion, just like there's corruption in politics and there's corruption in everything that we've talked about on these shows. And when it becomes rampant, then we have a problem. And again, I hate labels. Like, I don't really like putting a label on myself, let alone anybody else.
I don't like them either.
So, you know, when people say, oh, you know, Christians, this and that, I mean, I've dealt with some Christians in my own life and other people that follow all kinds of religion. And I deal with them just like I deal with anybody else. And I treat them, you know, we don't get into it, you know, I'm not like, hey, you know, this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's out there. It's a topic that people discuss. There's radio networks on internet radio that just focus on, you know, debunking. It's like Ancient Aliens. Everybody wants to debunk something. So the Bible is a hot topic for people to want to debunk, and not just the Bible, other ancient teachings, what religion is. There's internet shows for that on Blog Talk and all over the internet. So it's a hot topic right now. But for me, it's not something that I like to focus on. It's just, it's good to know, you know, right from wrong, and if you're a good person and you treat people like you want to be treated, and you know karma is what it is, you just live that way. And it's not really trying to force it on anybody or do anything. You know, everybody has evil in them. You know, there's times when I'm tempted to do things, and that's just everyday. That's just a reality of being human. We're going to be subjected to, you know, like I said, these people on the street, man, they do evil shit because they like it. You know, they're getting fast money, and they don't care about nobody else but themselves. So they don't really, it doesn't pertain to them to be a good person because, like, you know, the old saying, good guys finish last. Well, that's not true, but that's what society has programmed people to believe. So it's cool to be a liar and, you know, sell drugs and drop out of school. You know, you listen to Eminem long enough, you'll drop out of school because he told you to do it. And just on down the line.
Honestly, I don't, the way the school system is these days, I don't mind if people drop out. They should at least educate themselves once they drop out.
Well, even when I was in school, I was educating myself. And like I said, with the religion thing, me and Brian, we did a show with a guy that's all he does. You know, he does videos and books and everything about religion and the ancient mystery schools and the Babylonian, all this stuff. Egypt, everything. So we had him on the show, and this religion thing came up in the show, and I was like, you know, I didn't want to like get into it because that's not where I got in the movement. It's to like tell people that mainly everything that people believe is a lie anyways, but religion is just one thing I don't like to get into because I don't think it's, like I said, there's no concrete evidence on any of these things that we know for sure. You know, so it's not really speculation, but it's just what people research and what people come up with is one thing. But I'm not saying, you know, all religion's bad because it's not. There's good bits and pieces out there. You just have to find it, just like anything. If you're looking for good, you'll find it. If you look long enough and you look and you talk to the right people and you look for people that are not trying to screw you over, or, you know, people that say they're going to do something and they don't do what they say they're going to do, and they try to scheme you, or people like the morons on this show tonight that want to call in and say dumb shit like they did. So, you know, people have to make a choice, man. It's like, what do you want to do? You know, do you want to hurt the movement? Like, I can get on the radio and just yell and holler for 2 hours like Alex Jones does and tell everybody to buy my DVDs and my water filters and, you know, have all these crazy people on my show and all this shit, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be Alex Jones. I want to do my own thing. Like I said, some of the hosts that we have coming in the future, some of their specialties are religion, and I'm sure these shows are going to be covered, so, you know, that's just one side of it. There's multiple sides. There's finance, there's everything. There's all sides of the pyramid structure, you know, whatever people want to call it. You know, we cover everything. We try to. But like I said, religion is not my strong point. I just do what I do, and, you know, I don't think religious, that's the first thing people always want to talk about. It's like when you're on a thread or something, they're like, well, what's your religion? What do you believe in? It's like, okay, now it's about my religion and what I believe in. So that's why I just bounce around it. I don't really get into it. But yeah, I understand a lot what you're talking about, though.
But, you know, like, you brought it up, so I just had a thought.
Yeah, I know. We've had Rob on. Rob's been on a couple shows like that, you know, where the topic came up.
He's really knowledgeable in religion and spirituality and all that, my uncle.
Well, there's people out there, you know, there's people, really, it's not really it's not one of my talents, you know. Some people have that talent to convey or disagree with a religion. That's what they focus on, but that's not really one of my strong points. But there are people out there in the movement, or people involved on Facebook or whatever, you know, that's what they do. So it's always out there. If people are interested in finding out about that subject or the topics or how the origins of religions or how everything came to be what it is, what the Vatican is, what's going on with the Pope and all these things, you can go ahead and research it. But, you know, religion is a touchy subject, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. Though, like, I've never dived into it much just because of the ignorance I've gotten from religious people, so it's always easy to drive away from it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And that's another thing. I wanted to go ahead and plug Brandon's group, you know, It's My Opinion, because that's basically what we were going under when we were doing past shows. We were doing It's My Opinion. That's a group on Facebook. You can check that group out. We have a group for this show, like I said earlier, NWO Truth Radio. And then we have my group, We Can Handle the Truth, which is a lot of group files. Both groups, this new group doesn't have a lot of group files, but it will soon. But the other two groups have a lot of group files. If people are interested in reading and learning, it covers all kinds of different topics. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It's good information. And that's another thing on these shows. Tonight's show was just us, you know, kind of doing whatever, but the future shows, we're going to give people, you know, solutions, what we can actually do to apply ourselves and whatnot, and we'll get into that more. And Rob Johnson, we're in talks with trying to get him to actually do his own show, and that would be awesome if Rob could do a weekly show featured on this network, because the information that Rob Johnson is doing with his book and everything he does is important. It's good information, and they should teach that in public schools, but they don't.
Yeah, they should. No, Brian Plain also asked me if I wanted to be a host. I'm a host on here tonight. Brian, he also asked me if I wanted to do my own show on the network too. I told him it might be a while, just so if I ever decide to do that, just so I can gather information.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. I don't believe. Like I said, we're setting up.
Oh, I doubt.
Yeah, we're setting up things now, and tonight's show was just like a prototype. You know, just a show to try out things. But in the future, we're going to be taking this, you know, very seriously. It's not going to be like the other network. We're actually trying to build something here. We can actually reach a lot of people and really impact a lot of things. And like I said, we'll be covering all kinds of different topics. We're going to have multiple hosts. You know, Anthony, if you want to get on the show and talk about a certain subject, you can do, I don't know, you can do whatever length of time you want to do. You know, you have the access already to the studio and whatnot. So you're able to make shows. You know, whenever you're ready, whenever you decide that you want to do that, that's fine. There's no pressure and none of that. But we are looking for new hosts and co-hosts, and we do have some admins, like I said, people on Facebook that were hand-selected to be brought in. And I really, like, that's what I'm saying. I don't want people to, like, get into bicker and disagreements, because this isn't really about one person or one person's beliefs. This is about a bigger thing that we're trying to do. So it's important that we all kind of work together the best we can. You know, I think we weeded out the rotten apples out of the group. I think, you know, from here on out we should be good if we just work together and try to respect each other and what we're doing. But you know, we had to get away from what we were doing, because we were basically being oppressed and being you know, being held down in so many ways.
Yeah, that other guy was a douchebag.
Hmm?
That other guy you were dealing with was a douchebag.
That's true, and he's, like I said, I don't even want to give him any more credit or even talk about him, but just a person, you know what I'm saying? If you say you're gonna do something, all right, that's basically what I look at when I talk to people. Once you like lie to me or like do something like that, like I'll cut you off. Like I don't want to have anything to do with you. And I was in that group this morning telling him, I was like, you do whatever you have to do, but I'm sick of like the same old bullshit over and over again, and I'm sick of what we have to deal with, because last 2 or 3 weeks we've been shut out of the network completely. The only one that had access to the network was Brandon, and Brandon somehow hacked the network and he was able to make shows, but nobody else could get in because the passwords were different. And once we figured out the passwords and we were getting back into the routine, now he wants to decide that he doesn't want to do what he said he was going to do, because originally we were going to buy out that network and take it over. We were going to run that network because we already had 8 months of shows, 40 or 50 shows on there. But again, we have those shows. We all have them. We all downloaded them, so that's not a problem. But we were trying to get that network, and he backed out. He didn't want to do what he said he was going to do from my looking in on the situation. So Brian Plain got so pissed off about it, he created all this last night. He went and did everything. The only thing I really did was create the page for the network, but everything else is Brian Plain. And like I said, both of them had things to do. You know, you're doing the pictures with the promotion, and people were getting a kick out of that, so that helped us out a bunch.
There will be many more.
Yep.
I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, they are. And like I said, we'll be offering merchandise when we get the .com going officially, and on down the road we'll have a thing where people can help us out if they choose to. But I know I will. I'm be adding everything I can to this network to keep it going. Next month we should be okay, and on down the line I don't know how far we'll be able to go, but I know for this month we're all set to go. So like I said, we're going to do as many shows as we can this month, covering a lot of things. And one more thing, too. Yeah, one more thing about that. I have some guests. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much on this show tonight, but I have some guests that are coming up that are going to blow people away. If I can get this locked down and get these people on the network, it's going to be an eye-opening experience for a lot of people if it happens. But I don't want to give away too much about that. And also I have some authors and some people that I talk to on Facebook that want to do a couple shows with us, and some other people that run pages on Facebook, and they'll talk about their experiences with being shut down by Facebook and being blocked for 30 days because you said something, or you, again, attack somebody's religion. On one of these pages that I'm on, listen to this.
Or you were blocked from Facebook because you friend requested somebody.
Yeah, you sent friend requests to people you don't know. But on this page,
social network is for.
Yeah, that's Facebook for you. But anyways, on this page that I admin on, the religion thing is once a week. That's a topic that comes up, and some people get so involved in it. It's just reading the comments, you get drained after a while. After just reading some of these comments that these people say, and just reading that, you get drained after reading that. So I've dealt with it multiple times on a lot of pages and stuff that I admin on, and multiple groups. The debate groups, they don't really touch on religion every once in a while. But that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to do a follow-up show to the debate group show that we did last month, because I really don't like debate groups on Facebook. I think it's the worst thing ever created in the history of man. because all it does is breed people fighting and, you know, debating. What the hell is debating going to solve? And then they had this whole thing. Yeah, get this. They had this whole thing where, like, if you like, how many likes a comment gets is, you know, who's winning the debate, and it's just all this crazy. Like, what do you win? Who wins the car at the end of this debate? Or who wins the cash prize? Because they're not really, and people sit in these groups, you know, all day, 24 hours a day. You know, I've been in there 3 o'clock in the morning, and people are still going at it, and it just fascinates me. They really believe. They believe in all that shit. It's just crazy. But anyways, like I said, I don't want to go too much further into the, you know, show. I know we've been on a while tonight. But tomorrow we will have, like I said, a 2-hour show. Everybody will be joining us, all the hosts that we can get, and we'll officially do it on Sunday night. Or, I don't know, we might move it. But more as of right now, we're doing the show tomorrow night with all the hosts.
Same time?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. And then we'll switch up, you know, as the week starts, we'll switch up. I kind of want to do a early morning radio show if I can. I don't know, I might do an hour in the morning, some mornings during the week. I'll see how that goes.
I might not be a host for your morning show. It depends on what I'm doing. It depends on if I'm up or at class.
Well, either way, you're more than welcome. And like I said, man, thanks for helping me tonight, man. It's helped out a lot. Otherwise, I would have been just rambling here on the radio.
Yeah, I will always help. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone on the internet agrees with me more than people in my real life, so I like it.
Yeah, it's true, because some people on Facebook, man, I consider them closer than people in my family, and people that I know and friends and whatnot. Some of these people go way back with me on Facebook, and I'm thankful that Facebook brought us together along with this radio network. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do this if some of the people didn't get involved when they did. So I'm grateful that the radio network brought us all together. But on top of that, like I said, I'm grateful Facebook has, you know, I was able to meet some of these people, because these people are amazing people. Very, very well educated people, and they're, you know, they take this very seriously. And like I said, they're not doing it for money either. They're just doing it because, you know, they care, and they care about, you know, letting people know. So that's important. And like I said, in the future shows, man, we'll cover a lot. Next week and the following week after that, we have a lot of things in mind. So, like I said, I don't want to go too much more into the show here. We can probably wrap it up here. And we'll be back tomorrow, same bat time and, you know, same bat channel. And I don't know, I don't really know the topic of that show tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it'll just be, you know, our first official show.
Yeah,
like I said,
I'm sure we'll find a topic. We got too many people who have so many things to talk about.
No doubt. And like I said, hopefully Rob Johnson, if he can go ahead and do what he wants to do on the network, that's fine. But I want to do part 3 and 4 and possibly 5 with him of Sir Juris, you know, law, and we can get that out to the people. The last two shows we did with him were amazing. Those were also high-ranking shows that we've done.
Yes, they were.
And those shows were incredible.
Oh, and speaking of Rob Johnson, he is my uncle, so I figure I should promote him. He has a group on Facebook called Sue Juris, the Law of Full Age. Go check that out. It's secret. He made it secret once. He accidentally, and then he wasn't able to change it back to an open group. So you'll have to friend request me or Dennis so we can add you to it.
Yep, and that's no problem.
He also has a site that's under construction right now. It's called it's SueJurisLaw.net. I believe I have that correct. Just keyword Sue Juris Law. I think he's the first link under Sue Juris Law when you Google it. He has a book called Sue Juris, the Law of Full Age, Your Sovereign Claim to... I just want to make sure I got that one word correct. Unalienable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said.
So go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for doing that. I didn't have all that information in front of me, but yeah, we probably should go ahead and say that, let people know that are still listening.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, check that out.
And like I said, hopefully he'll join us on future shows. He's an excellent, guest, and like I said, hopefully in the future he'll become a host and he can do what he wants to do, because in my mind I can see that, man. I can see a Rob Johnson show,
We could give him his own Suture network on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, he could do that too. And, with his impact and people that he reaches, I mean, he would have a devoted following. It gets bigger every week. I mean, every time I go into that group, it's bigger. Same thing with Brandon's group, and...
Yeah. His group is secret, and it has to have a few hundred members since a few weeks ago.
Right.
When it became secret, people are still finding out about the group. So that just shows you how big stuff is.
Yep. So we're just going to continue doing that and continue growing. And like I said, tomorrow we'll do an official show, launching the network, and get everybody involved, because like I said, I want Brandon and Brian to be a part of that, and I couldn't do it without them either. Those two are very important to this network and very important to me, because they're always there when, I need them or I need something, on Facebook or in real life. So much respect to both of them and everybody involved in this network. I know a lot of people were listening tonight, so like I said, tomorrow night we'll get back into it, and we'll probably close this show out here, in the next couple minutes. And like I said, I appreciate it, Anthony, for your help tonight, man. It helped out a lot. You have no idea.
No problem. I loved it. I'll be on again as a host tomorrow. And
we'll do as many shows as we can, and if you can hang with us, do what you can do.
Honestly, I do nothing all day. I have no doubt I'll be able to hang with you for many shows.
Well, that'll work. And thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Like I said, NWOTruth.com is coming. You can check us out on Facebook at NWO Truth Radio. Yeah, I said that wrong, didn't I? I don't know if I said it right, but...
Yeah, NWO Truth Radio.
Yeah, NWO Truth Radio. On Facebook and the .com, and also we have a group, a Facebook page. And here at the network, if you want to follow us on the network, you can do that as well. And we will be back tomorrow night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and we'll do it again. And we'll have everybody involved. It should be a great show tomorrow night. More entertaining than this one.
Sounds good.
All right, so again, man, thanks a lot for your help tonight, and I will be speaking with you. I'll be around on Facebook for a little bit longer. And again, we'll be back tomorrow night. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
You told me every television in London. Cruelty and injustice, intolerance, depression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance, coercing your conformity and suggesting your submission. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
Let me preface whatever's going to happen in the future with the fact I'm not your typical cat rapping to shoot you. Anything given certificate is under ownership. Once you know the true predicament, you got a bone to pick. Citizens had to be pledged as collateral chattel before the monarch could start the international battle. They tricked your parents into a human monopoly. That's why they registered you as biological property. When Britain hatched the plan to snatch the land, they gave you a legal fiction. Now that's the jam you find yourself stuck in. You're such a cool victim, indoctrinated in Rockefeller's public school system. Your presidents work directly for the crown. Truly, I did my due diligence because it's my dedicated duty. Fuck bureaucrats trying to fool me. The Commonwealth is dying to rule me. All I can tell them is welcome for time to rule me. Thank you so much for coming. You could be free again. Oh, that would be grand. Only if you would see, my friend. First you must understand, they pathologically pretend, hoping to get you on the ship, let them persuade you to agree with them. That's it, man, it'll never cease to end. Perpetual conflict, free again. Indeed, you could take the shackles off, but have you ever really been? According to maritime admiralty law, you never will be free, my friend. If you fail to reclaim your tax money they freely spend on wars that never seem to end. United States is not a country, but a corporation, contractually created by the Constitution. Let there be no debate. Your founding fathers intended you be a citizen of your respective state, not a citizen of the U.S. domiciled in Washington, D.C. Oh yes. Prior to 1921, upon arrival, the birth of babies was recorded in the family Bible. But after the Great Depression, people really lost their noodles, so they signed a document that simply squandered all their scruples, joining the ranks of former slave children, becoming a 14th Amendment citizen. The Social Security Act, written by actors, manufactured to make it look like a beautiful package. Too bad you never heard the news. The Social Security Act equals voluntary servitude. Notice the deceptive language. You bow to tyranny again. And voluntarily, my friend, 14th Amendment citizen, you better learn to speak to them if you want to be free again. The President of the United States don't answer to the Queen. He answers to some shadowy cat that you never seen. Frank Van der Cliff wrote about it in the Evening Post. Now the creature from Jekyll Island is robbing you blind while he's smiling at you, cause he's just a ghost. To get a job in America, you need an SSN. To go to work in Canada, you need a card people call a sin. They've changed the names, but it's all the same no matter where you've been. They declared an emergency in 1933, and it certainly speaks to the state you're in. I got a son that I cannot call a kid. If I have my way, I'ma get him off the grid. I got a beautiful girl named Sophie on the way. And if they try to stick a little chip in my children, forget the gazillion, they really gonna have to pay. Really gonna have to pay.
You have no fear anymore. You're completely free.
And welcome to the New World Order. Now that was the message from British Prime Minister Gordon Brown today, and that is our headline this Thursday night.
I don't have an ID, sir.
Why don't you have ID?
I'm not driving.
Yeah, but I still need to see your ID.
I don't have ID.
How many people you got in the car?
I have just 4 of us in the car.
Okay, what were you saying before that?
I said I'm not driving.
Okay, but you still have to show me your ID. I'm a uniform.
I don't have a license.
What's your first name?
John Doe Smith.
Beat the shit out of you and arrest you just for lunging. Even though you didn't, they call me Crash Man. I got a mechanism to shut off the dash cam. Disrespect me, son, you're in a world of hurt. And if she's in the area, even your girl gets hurt. Guaranteed to get your suckers on some queer shit. Somebody call a cop. I'm already here, bitch. Disregard the writing on my squad car. The only thing I'm protecting and serving is the oligarch. Handle my weapon the minute I'm out the car. Not your dog? Fuck him, he ain't allowed to bark. All this talk about a new world order being a bad thing, I am an adamant supporter. Plus I was told they would make me an enforcer. Hurry the fuck up, I'm trying to rape somebody's daughter. Of what my duties truly include and what is said I do. I'm an avid collector, I bet you never knew. My specialties include human garbage and revenue. The drug war's a sham, I'm confessing to you. But if I catch you with a speck of residue, I'm arresting you. Put me in hot pursuit, it's inexorable. You try to run into your house and I can shoot you in your vestibule. This is nothing next to new. The statute has been on the books for years, it just wasn't put into effect for you. We're gradually